The servant. Levier Estate. This elegant mansion has stood for 3 centuries and is a treasured example of Chalane's architectural heritage. For generations it has served as the home for House Levier, a noble family from which has arisen many distinguished foreign members. I love how those doors open, look. Unfortunately I can't visit any of the side rooms. My lady, you would play a round of cards with this humble servant? Oh my! I feel honoured. However, it was great regret I must decline your offer. I am presently attending to my mistress. Please accept my sincerest apologies. Aww! We go. And that was that. Only the gods know when we'll be back again. Thank you for indulging Mother's request. I could see it meant a lot to her, and I, shall refrain from inquiring as to the content of your private conversation, whence we came. But enough sentimentality, let us return to the annex and rejoin our companions. Forgetting about Ethernet showers to travel around. Don't think for a moment that I'm jealous of Alphinaud's new weapons. They're far more suited to him than me. We left for Eosa in matching outfits, but our styles, both fashion and fighting, have long since diverged. If anything, I'm proud of the differences between us. If I intend to master the sage's armaments, that will mean learning to imbue them with the same ether that I poured into the moonstone and obsidian. It is difficult to grasp the essence of such an entity. For me, it will help to think of the Noelists as allies in my battle, simply a new form of energy which went into manifesting my carbuncle companions. For us to feel responsible for the schism of House Levier would be a pure hubris. After all, we are merely on the outskirts of what is essentially a family affair. And yet neither can we claim the difference between strangers. To hear their mother welcome them so warmly was a joy and a relief. As curious as I am to learn the truth of this duty, I wonder what else the farm is hiding. A calamitous secret whose origin lies in the ethereal sea? Duplicity aside, however, I do not believe Mart's unfortunate means ill. Even the harsh words he had for his children stem not from anger, I think, but desperation. Enjoyed your time with the Leviers, I hope? I would ask how the twins fared, but their new outfits tell me the tale. I can only hope we can help them reconcile with their father, that they might return home one day with their heads held high. In the meantime, we edge ever closer to the secret the Forum strives to hide, and the flower bequeathed to you by Hydaelyn is sure to guide us in going forward. I'm confident that once you have scouted out the situation in Flavnir, we'll be quite well equipped to deal with our next move. It's wonderful how garment-given love can so easily change one's whole outlook. I remember when I was coming to terms with my talent in the Echo, just being wrapped in the robe my grandfather gave me somehow made everything seem less daunting. Right, I'm going to quickly finish off those side quests. And then I will stop for a brief little bit of lunch. After lunch, I will explore the other side. And it seems it seeks a brave soul for a dangerous task. If I'm not mistaken, you have the steely eyes of adventure, one who looks death in the eye and does not flinch. It just so happens that I require a sample of rare earth that can only be found in a location rife with vicious plants, and God knows what else. I would give you a hefty sack of coin if you could retrieve it for me. If you're willing, pray make your way to the Troglodyles Deep and gather for me 3 samples of mud brown. The darker, the better. I say, I suggest sharpening your weapons beforehand, but I won't tell you how to do your job. I require 3 samples of brown mud from the turquoise deep. It should be easy to spot, but reaching them unscathed will be another matter entirely. The distracted Arctica seems troubled. Oh dearie me. My sweetest shaggy youth. One of the Archeon's precious samples have fled. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? My apologies. I am Nawahiatia, an archivist. The Archeon is home to various samples collected from all across the star, and one such specimen has just escaped. A young troll, to be specific. Oh, I hope he hasn't been set upon by the local predators. Listen, I promise to compensate you, so could you please help me retrieve this specimen? My thanks. I will continue my search of this area. I'd like you to check the 33rd facet. Once you've had a comprehensive look about, please meet me at the Archeon to report your findings. Parabolox is in search of someone skilled with a weapon. Madam, I say, madam, I seem to be in a bit of a bind, and I was wondering if you might lend your aid to remedy the plight of a struggling student. Oh, of course. Introductions. I am Parabolox, from the Studium, where my research involves the finer points of bacteria and fungi. I'm here to harvest mushroom for Labyrinthios for my experiments, but I'm afraid I may be in over my head. You see, the mushrooms are located in the 33rd faucet, but that shaft is positively swarming with things I can scarce stand to look at, let alone face in combat. It isn't uncommon for members of the student to request help from the more martially inclined, so I am here before you. Will you procure the mushrooms for me? I will be forever in your debt. Oh, thank you, good madam. Well then, the same number for my plot is 316. The mushrooms stand out among the others, while they're with red caps and a distinctive triangle shape. Just in case, however, I do have this illustration. I understand all too well the impulse to become lost gazing at the fungi, and perhaps this will help you keep on track. If you find the sheer variety of mushrooms to be overwhelming, then simply consult the picture and it should put you back on track. Please return with a crop labelled Sample 316. If you forget how they look, consult the instruction and resume the merry harvest. Jean Equette requires a sturdy back to assist him. Might you have some time to spare for an old researcher, lass? Physical labour doesn't come to me as easily as it once did, and I'm in search of someone a bit more spry to assist me. The task is a simple one, rest assured. You need only plant these experimental seeds in the nearby fields. You'll be compensated for your troubles, of course. No special skills are required of you. If you've planted one seed, you've planted most of them. Well then, I look forward to seeing what you can do. You have the seeds, yes? I expect you know more to what to do with them. If not, well, I'm afraid we may have more troubling issues at hand. Roop has Con has a work for a swift pair of legs. Greetings! You seem eager to give a small portion of your time up in the name of progress. All I require is help with a simple delivery, and rest assured you will receive just for your consents. I've been expecting someone from the dairy farm to come pick up this batch of fruit, but neither hide nor hair of them. I deliver it myself, but my duties have prevented me from stepping in from these crates. The fruit is liable to rot if not stored properly, so if it isn't too much trouble, please make haste to Mitato and deliver them to my colleague there. Pray make haste to Mitato and deliver the fruit to my colleague stationed there before it begins to rot. Big fat tacos, a big fat tacos, a big fat tacos, a big. Big fat tacos, a big fat tacos, a big fat tacos, a big. Have you taken the time to admire the animals? I might be biased, but I reckon the livestock here is the best in the realm. They've been carefully bred to produce a tender meat, abundant milk, as well as to be resistant to a wide range of diseases and maladies. Meat livestock shall not escape, not on my watch. Oh, hello! Was there something you needed? Sack containing fruit grown at Merrill's ergonomics. The smell emanating from it defies definition of its contents. Oh, what specimens! So plump and fragrant! You said you came all the way from Merrill Ergonomics? Thank you for making the trek. It would have been a shame to see these go to waste. Sometimes the cattle here are so temperamental that I forget my other obligations. Ruben must be cross with me. This isn't the first time I've accidentally shirked my appointments with him. I must give him something by way of apology. Perhaps this golden cheese will do the trick. As you well know, we at Mitato pride ourselves on research to the various methods of animal husbandry and fermentation used throughout the realm, and this cheese is our latest masterpiece. It came about in no small part thanks to the fruit you just delivered. We feed it to our cattle, and it is the main contributor to the cheese's heavenly fragrance. If it's not too much trouble, could you deliver this wheel to Ruba? Please deliver the cheese to Ruba while it's still fit for eating. I'm sure that once he catches a whiff of it, all memory of my forgetfulness will vanish. no food, I see. I trust you delivered it without incident. You didn't eat it, did you? A wheel of lustering cheese. The smell emanated from it defies definition of its ingredients. This is golden cheese! Legends say that only the masters of Worlet knew the secret of its creation. I never thought I'd lay my eyes on a single slice, let alone a whole wheel. If I receive one of these each time Sabine forgets her obligations, then she can be as absent-minded as she pleases. What does it taste like, I wonder? Will it live up to all the tales? Oh, my apologies. I do get carried away when it comes to cheese. Any road, thank you for your assistance, and take this for your time. I would share this cheese with you, but... Of course, the light of the artificial is not so brilliant as the real one. However, it will allow us to grow crops without having to worry about inclement weather, changing seasons, making the results of experimentation much worth consistence. You see no trolls great or small, perhaps a bit further in. These don't appear to be the correct mushroom, although they do have a certain charm. These don't appear to be the correct mushroom, they have a certain charm. These mushrooms match the illustration in your hands. The long search is over. The errant troll is nowhere to be seen. Toya may have had better luck. Chocolate files deep. This cavern serves as a breeding ground for certain subterranean species deemed vital to ongoing research efforts, including a study into creating fertilizer from subjects' phosphorus-rich excrement. Trogliflora reproduction is, however, an inexact science, routinely resulting in excessive members of cave-dwelling offspring spilling out into nearby habitats. I see. I was unable to find the specimen either. However, I did see someone who claimed to see it on Mornville Forest. Let's head there and see if we can track it down. Yes, there can be no doubt. These are Shaggle's footprints. Ahem. I have discovered the species trail. It should be close. If you find it under threat from local fauna, you may dispatch its assailants. Oh, look at the size of it! Oh, I'm so glad you're unharmed. You're all safe now. Come on, let's go home, sweetie. The Archeon is under a threat. I must do something. Grr. What is this threat? Grr. You can understand me? Wait, are you able to communicate with him? Incredible! I've never met someone with such a skill before. You're not taking me in for study. This bundle of joy was born in Labyrinthos. However, he was abandoned by his mother and in quite a state by the time we found him. He possesses remarkable intelligence for one of his kind. We've elected to use him as part of a study into the effects of growing up in an artificial environment. I had seen him making gestures that indicated he'd been reading the tomes here, but I thought he was just copying those around him. To think he actually understands speech? Though I do wonder exactly why you're able to understand him and I am not. I'm sort of special. Really? Oh, what I wouldn't give to understand him too. You possess the echo, don't you? I find it difficult to, the way you're kind to, but I suppose it makes sense that you understand my general sentiments. I happen to learn of said power from the tomes in the Archeon. Honestly, that buffoon over there is surrounded by a sea of knowledge, and he makes no effort to engage with it. At any rate, I'm glad to finally have someone to talk to. As I was saying earlier, the Archeon is in grave danger. Some ruthless gleaner managed to bring woodworms in with them during a visit. If we leave them be, they're bound to cause irreparable damage to the materials at the facility. I tried my best to tell that buffoon, but it was no use. That's why I took a chance and went in search of my own kind to see if they would help. But you saw how that turned out. Well, what's he saying? Oh dear me. Still, it was the most courageous of him to try and solve the issue on his own. Now that we're aware of it, we need to sort out this pest problem at once. Would you mind helping out a little longer? You're the only one who can understand him after all, and he seems mom's ahead of us with regards to the situation at hand. Leave it to me. Your help is indispensable if we're to get Shaggy's advice on dealing with the infestation. Now that he's been understood at last, Shaggles is full of vim and vigour. Allow me to explain a few things at first. Staff at the Archeon regularly use alchemic pesticides to keep the place free of harmful gurs. No, allow me to explain a few things at first. Staff at the Archeon regularly use alchemic pesticides to keep the place free of harmful gurs. Unfortunately, the woodworm I found seemed to be entirely resistant to the type of pesticides employed at the facility. I skimmed a few tomes, including the New Eorzean Geographic, but I couldn't manage to identify the biokinid archaea. I'm guessing it must be a new species. Grr. We won't let it get far if we know nothing about the enemy, so I went ahead and captured one of the woodworms. We can try showing it to someone who knows more about this sort of thing than I do. Oh, shit. I thought he said something. I see. In that case, I think we'd best be served by a biologist at Merwell Ergonomics, shall we? Here it goes. Go, wiggly snake. You can do it. You've returned. Am I surprised? No, no, of course not. I had utmost faith in your abilities. Oh, did you bring the sample? Oh, the colour suggests mud, the odour suggests something else entirely. Excellent work! With this, I shall continue my research into the techniques of the next, skilled fighters and farmers both. I recently acquired texts from their homeland that go into details about their agriculture. Did you know they mix bat droppings into the soil to make it more fertile? Quite ingenious. The land they live in is quite temperate, and it is writ that after 100 summers, the droppings solidify into something resembling stone, further concentrating nutrients contained within. Of course, the samples you provided me today are far too ripe to be much use on their own. However, what is the purpose of research if not to free us from the bounds of the natural world? What's that? Of course I'm sure I said the droppings resemble mud, didn't I? Regardless, I am to speed up the ripening process, creating in days what it takes nature centuries to accomplish. If I succeed, farmers across the realm will rejoice, and they will have you to thank for it. No two corners of the world cultivate the land the same way. My research involves poring over the many texts gathered by the gleaners to produce something altogether greater than the sum of its parts. Well, I can see by the dirt on your boots that you did some manner of digging. Were you able to find my sample? As long as the illustration was accurate, this must be sample 316, or close enough at any rate. Ah yes, these match my illustration exactly. Thank the 12 that the brave of heart still walk this realm. Do you still have interest in fungi yourself? These were developed from spores of the elf stool, which can only be found in the Orm Vale. A rare mushroom, but these are superior in every way. For one, they are less inclined to kill you, a vast improvement by any measure of the word. Of course, I've had my failures, but the less said about those the better. What matters now is the revolutionary sample 316 is to be held. I am from the student who's gained practical knowledge of how to cultivate fungi. Being in the outdoors does have advantage over those stuffy sacks of books. Slightly flushed, are you? Good. I take it that means you've prevented the seeds. You have my thanks, and if all goes well, the realm's all well. You see, my research involves production of nutrient-rich plants that can be harvested in greater numbers than any we have seen thus far. However, even the most extraordinary crop is useless if they cannot be planted and raised by the common woman. I have long made use of priority when developing new seeds, asking everyone from experienced researchers to eager children to plant them in the earth, and then comparing results. But of course, I'm sure you've had more than enough long-winded explanations over your journeys to last a lifetime, and take satisfaction in a job well done. For many years I have poured my energies into developing more bountiful crops. My life's goal is to produce a seed from which both a potato and a tomato will grow. Ah, a man could dream. Don't grr at me, I can talk to him myself. I went ahead and told him everything. I have to admit that I hesitated to bring up Shaggle's role, though. The troll showed me the woodworm sample, but the best I can do is confirm that I've never seen it before. I'd say your hypothesis that it's an undiscovered species is highly likely. In order to ascertain how best to deal with the insect, we need to learn about its original habitat. Well, I found a clinging onto a Vanbarian tool used to make medicine that was recently brought to the Archeon. It was discovered by a rogue gleaner. Let's go ask her about it. Well, what are we waiting for then? To the Archeon. That troll truly speaks to you, doesn't it? Perhaps that woodworm is not the only new species in our midst. No, you're not studying me. Now that I think of it, there was a Violican race capable of conversing the Nacht, if I'm not mistaken, though some argue that they're closer to crustaceans. soon. It's okay. That's the gleaner who delivered the tool. Let's ask her where she got it. I wonder if I'll be able to talk to Shaggles someday too. I'd love to know what he thinks of me. I don't want to know what he thinks of you. Oh, that? I found that in Thavnir. To be more specific, at the alchemist outpost, the great work. 'Twas used by the first alchemist, they say, and there are few tools like it still extant. I spent days arguing my case, but before its owner agreed to hand it over. It's all coming together now. The woodworm was probably exposed to so many alchemic concoctions in that settlement that it developed a hardy resistance to substances like pesticide. Let's waste no time in Gurren the Basilist about this. I feel like I've seen that little troll in the Archeon. Is it alright for him to be out and about like this? Well, circumstances have required us to set him free a little bit. Closely monitored, of course. Now, where did he go? Oh my, we should make for Merrill ergonomics straight away then. If I didn't know better, I could have sworn that troll was talking to you. Go on then. I suppose we should really turn Shaggles to the Archeon soon. Oh, ignore me, I'm just thinking out loud. Well, that certainly makes a lot of sense in light of all that's happened thus far. I happen to know that alchemic pesticide that the Archeon was facing in Thavnir, so it's hardly surprising that our woodworm friend has developed a resistance to it. How shall we solve this conundrum? It was girly enough when I thought these were normal woodworms. It may be not the most inventive solution, but what if we were to make it but how? Assuming that's a yes, I'll need you to get your hands on a Luncheon's Toad's poison gland. I'll take care of the rest. Oh my, despite their adorable name, those toads are not to be trifled with. You think you're up? So I say you're our only hope. I take it he skipped right to asking for your assistance. You'll find the toads roaming near Zuma, I believe. Do take care now. Remember, those toads would just as soon have you for lunch, Ian. The toads really are quite delicious once you extract the poison gland. Just a friendly tip. Have you managed to take out one of those toads yet? Back and forward, back and forward. Glad to see you return safely. You may give this files to our friend here directly. No, I do not need to see, thank you. Good, have your back. Now hurry up and give that toad's nurse to the biologist. Judging by the smell, I think it's safe to assume you got what I asked for. Allow me to tuck that away before we all pass out from the stench. Filled to the brim with deadly toxin and smells of it. Out of smell, out of mind. Now I've got all I need to make one of the most potent pesticides out there. Oh, hello, who are you? Hold on just a moment. The director. What exactly are you making here? And why does it smell like the inside of a toad? And you, Noel, Tia, I believe your job requires you to bring any missing specimens back to the Archeon, not take them on a tour of the realm. Please allow me to explain. I see why you feel such a drastic action is needed. However, I cannot permit you to release such a potent pesticide inside my Archeon. It could damage that which is housed within, and there's no telling how it might affect Labyrinthios' environment once the fumes inevitably escape the building. Whilst the pesticide we currently use may be on the weaker side, that is also one of its strengths. It has negligible impact on the environment. You clearly haven't given your plan much thought. Fear not, I shall come up with a solution in due course. For now, let us return the specimen to the Archeon. There is little to be gained by allowing a troll to ruminate on such matters, no matter how odd it may be. Grrr, me another chance. I can't sit back and watch those marvellous books be destroyed. Is it addressing me? It truly wishes to protect the tome so strongly. Very well. In light of you having discovered the woodworm issue in the first place, I shall grant you one more chance to present a solution. Should you prove capable of ridding us of the infestation, I promise to cease treating you as a mere specimen. Assuming that you come up with a solution on your own, of course. You are forbidden from consulting the researchers. Understood? Oh, I'm sorry you got dragged into this. It's all my fault for acting so rashly. Shackles is searching for a solution. I worry that I won't be able to come up with a way to solve a problem. Let me and think on my own for a bit. It's alright. You don't need to interpret for me. Even I can tell he's struggling with the weight of this task. You know, creatures like trolls tend to perk up when someone pets them. Why don't you show Shackles some affection? He might even pretend not to like it at first, but trust me, he'll warm up to it soon enough. Go on, fight Red and Shackles. He's just as cuddly as he looks. I can't come up with anything good, I'm just a little creature. What are you doing? I'm not a dog. Honestly, what the girl was that? I know. I actually feel a bit better now. Seems like he's back to his old self. Listen, Shackles, if anyone can do this, it's you. Normally I'd call him a buffoon and move on, but I'm the Grr who nearly destroyed the labyrinthine system by unleashing a super strength pesticide. If anyone's a fool, it's me. I know I'm forbidden from consulting the researchers, but I can ask you for advice, right? You must have fought your fair share of foes on your ventures. How do you take on especially Grr ones? I harness all my strengths. but we can't use our strong pesticides. The fumes would havoc. Wait, fumes! That's it! We need to suffocate the Falcon. I bet we could starve the worms of oxygen with the gas emitted when we pour hydrochloric acid on limestone. We'll need to evacuate the staff and other 11 specimens, but it wouldn't damage the tomes or the documents. We won't know if it'll work unless we give it a go. Nurate, get the acid. I just need you to get some limestone. There's more than enough for the taking in the 30 facet. Meet us at the Archeon once you have it. I get the impression you've come up with a solution. Would you mind filling me in? Brilliant! Though I'd best be prepared at looking at shackles while I fetch the acid. Please do get that stone in the meantime. Oh, thank goodness it's up there. Do you not find the 33rd faucet to be a bit scary? I'm terrible with gloomy places like that. Everyone's out, and we got the acid as promised. Did you keep your eye on the bargain? When the mill limestone that will nevertheless produce a desired chemical reaction. Many acres. I'll be right back. supplied the test room with gas. Now we need only wait and see what happens. You know, I've been on my own mom as long as I can remember. I do recall that I constantly questioned my parents, which is probably what led them to giving up on me altogether. That same intelligence or belligerence, depending on who you are, saw me rescued and brought me here. It made me interesting, I suppose, but I've only ever been treated as a specimen. You're the first person I've been able to have an actual conversation with. For the longest time, the Archon's folks were my only friends. They were both my loyal companions and my window out from which I gazed into the outer world. That's why I can't stand by and let them be destroyed. Naturally, I would love for my intelligence to be recognized, that I might become a researcher in my own right. But more than anything, I want to protect the Archeon. It worked. It actually worked. The pests are no more and the tomes look good as new. Well done. Your method is both effective and safe. We shall waste no time in using it to rid the entire facility of woodworms. As promised, you will no longer be treated as a mere specimen. From now on, you are an apprentice researcher. Thank heavens the Archeon will be safe once more. And allow me to thank you for everything. I couldn't have done it alone. My very first project as an apprentice will be to study how to produce sounds, just like your kind do. If I want to be a researcher, I need to learn how to speak with people other than you. It's good to see Shaggles looking so pleased. Thank you for all you've done for us. Oh, but before you go, could you perhaps tell me what he thinks of me? He calls you a buffoon regularly. Is that so? Oh, but he's too adorable to be angry with. Come, let me pet you. Cease this, you buffoon. I am no one's pet. No, come back. Ah, thank goodness. Now I can. Go here. And I will temporarily stop for a brief lunch break.